Yo, 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 and yo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another live stream here on TA with K. Look at all those pretty hearts popping up. Joe, you're such a nice guy. The market is like my ex, bipolar. So, yeah, it is. Or like my current wife. Oh, no, just kidding. I didn't say that. Well, welcome to the stream, guys. TGIF. You know, thank God it's Friday. I'm so glad the work week and just the overall week's over. Obviously, if you've been making any trades, the market hasn't been all that great this week, unless I guess you're short-term shorting, in which case maybe you're having a good week in your trades. But overall, I just don't think this is a week that we really care to remember. It's kind of a forgettable week in crypto and the overall landscape of trading. There was the FOMC stuff. We talked about that yesterday in our live stream. Some of that could be viewed positive or negatively depending on who you are. Dave P, welcome, my friend. That's 2 days in a row. What is that face? Looks like my face. You put my face up there. I like it. Good job. I hope everybody's doing good. Shout out to the chat. What do you guys have planned for the weekend? There's the question of the day. I don't have anything super fun planned just yet, but we'll figure something out. I know Sunday we're doing a barbecue with some friends, but that's, a couple days away. So right now I don't know that I have anything, planned, but a little bit of yard work, unfortunately, unless the weather foils that. But what do you guys got going on? And also, is the volume's good again? I didn't change anything, but I did tell you guys from a couple streams ago, there is a ghost, I believe, that lives in this room somewhere. He's like a prankster ghost. I don't think he's out to get me, physically or anything like that. But I think he wants to mess with my stream. So things to change. Not send money, nothing planned. Well, don't get in meme coins. Put that on your list. Make it on your whiteboard above you, where you put your little notes of what you're gonna do or don't do. Just put, do not trade meme coins this weekend. Save 99%, right, Joe? Just doing some, yeah, isn't it sad that, I don't know how old you are, Dave, but isn't it crazy how you get older, the weekends, you look forward to them still, but at the end of the day, they're just a time to catch up on house cleaning or yard work. Maybe you get one fun thing in. We have to go to town to buy stuff for the baby. That's not fun. I got to do some mowing the grass. That's not fun. It's just adult stuff. So I don't know. Becoming an adult is really not all it's cracked up to be. If you could go back in time and tell your 12-year-old self, hey, I know you think you want to get older, but you could slap yourself. You don't. Just don't do it. I don't know if you guys have ever seen what's it called? Billy Madison with Adam Sandler. It's a hilarious movie if you haven't seen it, but he grabs this kid's cheeks and he's like, stay as long as you can. Anyway, it's just pretty funny, but not spending money. Well, there you go. That's exactly what you got to do. Oh, yeah, you were just fixing. Not. I thought you were saying you were going to maybe send me money, and then you changed your mind and you were not going to send me money, which I understand, but I get it. You're not spending money. Well, I unfortunately have no choice but to spend some money on the weekend, but that's just for groceries and things that got neglected throughout the week as we're busy working, or I'm busy at least working my 9-to-5 job, so to speak, 7 to 3, but same thing, right? And then coming home and trying to keep crypto stuff together. It makes for a hectic week. So come the weekend, I got catching up to do on some of that other stuff, and then the next week just seems to turn right around and start again. All right, so the topics that we'll be discussing today, outside of any questions anybody has along the way, it's Friday, so we're not going to stress ourselves out, obviously. I mean, I have some topics here, nothing that's going to change your life. If you're bored, obviously, I'm glad you're here. I'm not going to say anything in here that's going to be life-changing for you, I promise you that, but it is Friday, so we're going to have a chill stream, talk about a few things, what's on your mind, what's on my mind, so on, right, and so forth. So the topics that I lined up last night was who to elect for president that might be better for Bitcoin. And the answer to that might or might not surprise you. It's just my opinion, obviously, at the end of the day, but well, actually, I'll be honest with you, I'm not even going to give an opinion. I don't like to talk politics, and I don't really think that, we'll talk about it in a few minutes, but at any rate, this is definitely not going to be a channel where I'm ever going to be talking about political views or anything like that, because I just think that's kind of unnecessary. And in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter? I don't know. All right, and then OG coins, for those of you that don't know what OG means, we're just talking about the old dinosaur coins, things like XRP, Cardano, DOT, you know, some of those coins that you would think would be worth holding on to because they are fundamentally sound, or at least they appear to be, right? Been around for a while, and yet they haven't been performing very well this bull run. And of course, Joe's meme coins that have been performing really well, except for when he buys them, have been, you know, stealing the show. You know, they are the coins that are the new hype. You know, and there's been other things, AI, of course. What are they called? RWA coins. I mean, there's a lot of different narratives going on this particular bull run, but we haven't really seen the OG coins do anything yet. Is that bad? Is that normal? Is that okay? You know, is it? You know, we'll talk about that a little bit. At least my opinion on that. The third topic we'll be talking about is meme or AI as an artificial intelligence coins. Just kind of my opinion on if you had to choose one or the other to trade. And if you weren't able to do both anyways, which one would you lean towards potentially out of those two? And we'll discuss that. And then what I mean by follow the hype is just basically whatever narrative, going back to that word, whatever narrative is being talked about at that time, because we kind of know if you've been in crypto for a while that we go from whatever sector we're talking about, whether it's layer 1 or layer 2s, to suddenly we're talking finance coins is the new thing, and those are pumping, and then suddenly it is AI or it's the gaming sector, right? And my question that we're going to talk about today is, should you follow that, or should you maybe come up with a different plan, divert your plan a different direction, and which way would be more successful? So right before we hop into the actual topics that we just kind of went over, does anybody have anything fun to say other than the president that doesn't poop? We'll see, but that's probably both. You know, we either have our crazy big-headed redheaded fella, or we have the dementia the guy that doesn't really know where he's at. That's probably who you were talking about with the poop in the pants. I'm not entirely sure he knows where he's at from day to day, and you know, maybe that's okay. Maybe that's what we want, is someone that doesn't have a clue, so maybe they can't mess things up. Fortunately, we all know that's not how that works, but Trump for crypto. And actually, yeah, we'll talk some more about that. And actually, Rigo, give me in the chat as I start my topic here, so I can come back and read it. Give me an explanation as to the reason why you're saying that. I'm curious, because I don't follow politics. So again, we're gonna read a few things I found online, just to kind of give you some insight on kind of, I guess, the way the overall market's viewing this. But you want my personal opinion, it would be kind of pointless, because I literally, in fact, before we start, I'll give you just a quick, like, 30-second, you know, I guess, keynote about myself. I actually live in a state that I guess is considered, is it blue? Let's see, red states. Red states are Republican, right? And it's Idaho, it's a very, very red state. I don't think it's ever actually, as far as I know, voted anything other than Republican. So I've never voted. I've actually never actually went and checked the ballot for anybody, because it is a dumb reason. If you're super, I guess, super American, and you're like, you should vote, you probably think I'm useless, right, for saying this, but I just never saw my vote as being that important, because I live in a state that even if I didn't randomly want that particular, you know, party, it's gonna happen anyway. Now, as the time goes on, maybe it gets closer and I change my mind, but the other reason is I don't even really know. I don't follow it. So what would I be voting for? Just who I think looks better, which they both look horrible, so you know, we picking. Like Joe said, which one doesn't poop their pants? Well, I'm not entirely sure that is a clear cut, dry answer either. So, you know, that just kind of leaves me on the outside going, I just hope that the rest of the country has an idea of what they're voting for, because surely don't want to put it in my hands, because I'd probably go Chuck Norris or you know, Wesley Snipes or something would probably be who I'd pick for president. So, okay. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the first topic, which we should be able to come over here. I actually just wanted to peek real quick, actually, as we begin here at the Bitcoin chart. I'm zoomed in here. We're not going to discuss Bitcoin really in depth. I just want to give a quick update. I think that's something that's probably a good idea to do in each of these live streams, is just a quick update on, you know, if we talked about Bitcoin at all the day prior. We're still in this same range. I take that back, sorry. We've actually, in my eyes at least, depending on how you draw it, we may have broken down from this. I never actually drew it on the chart yesterday, but you kind of have this little zone of, you know, down here that was support, right, that we talked about, the neckline of that double top. Well, you know, you could look at this as a breakdown and a retest, potentially. If it closes, we have an hour and 44 minutes. It's not, you know, super clear to me. I wouldn't necessarily trade it. However, it would not surprise me, based on what we're looking at here, just, you know, across this little zone, the mid-range, as we called it, that maybe crypto decides to take a little bit of a plunge back down here again. And, you know, we'll see what happens. Doesn't mean it's going to happen all at once, although you can see that a lot of times when it's gone down in here, it has done it pretty quick. This was a very, very fast move here, but it also recovered all in one candle. This was a pretty quick move here, one candle. This one took a little bit more of its time, but it also saw a bigger dip. So anyway, you know, again, nothing really to see here. No news is, you know, I guess I wouldn't say good news, but no news is no news. It's just hanging out, possibly trying to break down. Hey, Joe, actually, I missed your stream again today because I was at work. Did you talk about Bitcoin in your stream? And if so, leave me a comment as to what you said about Bitcoin. What's your current feelings on the market, or have you even been discussing that in your live streams? I don't know where I've missed your last few. I don't know if you're up there doing the polka dance for your people, or if you're actually like looking at Bitcoin or looking at, you know, Cardano. I don't know what you're doing. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's very entertaining, and I'm sad that I keep missing it. But I do have a plan to catch up on some of your streams this weekend. Go back and watch the BTC going down. Okay, so you're kind of in agreement with me that this looks like a breakdown, I'm sure. And I don't necessarily think that, well, this is also the way I look at it. I said on the stream the other day that we would likely see crypto make a short recovery because it was going down prior to the FMOC, but then after that, it would reveal kind of the true nature of what was really going to happen, and we've been going down. Ever since that little brief rally, which really wasn't much, we've gone down. So you have to assume that until we find some actual support, which a mid-range is really not support. I mean, it is, but it's not, you know, what we consider strong support. So we'll just see what happens over the next over the weekend. Weekends usually the market doesn't do a whole lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's gonna either dump, you know, today, or it might just range until Monday and then, you know, make its real move. So okay, so hopping over to our president topic. If you look at the top, if you're joining these streams, it's your first time, whatever topic I'm on, it's up here at the top. It'll say current topic, and out of my 4 topics, we're currently on this one. And of course, I will put timestamps after the fact. The other day I forgot to for, I don't know, almost a whole day. So I'm sure they're useful. I know that. I know when I go watch people's live streams later, it's nice when those are there, because sometimes they're either talking about something you don't care about, or maybe, you know, there's just dead space and whatever it is. You know, you just want to catch up quickly because you're busy. Life is busy. So I will leave timestamps, and you can kind of look for these topics as I go over them. But this is what I found on CNBC.com, and it says, Biden-Trump rematch. Here's how the presidential election may disrupt the stock market. So I just kind of highlighted stuff that I thought stood out, and I've marked them here for you. So it says, historically, meaning, you know, history prior to this election, for the most part, potential election outcomes have a minimal impact on financial market performance in the medium and long term, according to a U.S. Bank Wealth Management analyst. So I'm guessing the reason that they put medium and long term is because it could have an effect in the short term. That makes sense. You know, the market does tend to react to things quickly, you know, have a snap judgment to things. However, the overall landscape is what they're saying basically is that the potential elections in the past, at least, haven't really affected anything. So we'll go down. It says, in general, election years are not great for the stock market leading up to the voting day. It says, but this year was the outlier, right? Because it's actually been doing good. Stocks have been up. It says we're up 12% so far. Now, as I kind of go through this, I was thinking about this last night. It makes you wonder, does that mean that it's going to continue, or is it just, you know, it's different, but maybe it's going to end up being the same. Maybe it's just going up now, but we're going to see kind of a pullback. You know, the larger pullback could be coming, in my opinion, any time now. I do know one of Joe's streams that I caught one time, he was talking a lot about how he's still been waiting around for that 50K, you know, somewhere around that range. I don't remember the number you threw out there, but I'm the same way. That's kind of what I keep thinking is going to happen at some point. And the longer we're ranging, you know, the less likely it is. However, I still think it's going to happen. Chuck Norris election slogan. Vote for this as your new president. Chuck Norris. That's funny. Yeah, I just threw that out there, but okay. So that's saying that this is the best that it's ever performed since 1980, actually. So the S&P 500, that is performing well. So stocks are up, even though there's a lot of uncertainty overall between, you know, because these presidents are definitely like yin yang, or I don't know if that's the right word actually, but very much opposites in a lot of ways, right? Like as far as the way the country is viewing it all divided. So I think a lot of people would view this as a very, very, very important election historically, right? and yet the stock market's acting like it's not happening. So it says what Biden-Trump could mean for the stock market. So this is where I found the most interesting. So it says both candidates will enter the office with a deficit of $1 trillion. So obviously they're coming right in with a big debt. Biden's currently president, obviously, so he would just be picking up where he left off, so to speak, and Trump would be coming back in with $1 trillion deficit. So either way, they're coming into basically a crap job. It's like getting hired at a job where you already know before you started it that you're being set up to fail, essentially, right? That's really is the job of the president. I've always wondered, outside of some of the insider stuff that probably goes on, what would even be the appeal of that job? I've actually felt that way about a few jobs in life, like a police officer. I love our police officers, but man, what an underappreciated job, and in some cases not paid well, just to deal with crap all the time. So I don't know. So anyhow, we'll go down here. It says instead of sorry, I cannot read today. The differentiator will depend on the candidate's stance on foreign policy. Right? We have a lot going on as far as that goes around the world. So they're basically saying that whatever their stances on foreign policy will make a big difference. That I highlighted this 3 times. I can't remember why, but we'll read it and see. Meanwhile, emerging markets may be more bullish under the Trump administration. So emerging markets, I think I actually might have. Let's go look and see real quick. I might have actually highlighted what that was because I didn't know. Actually, once I read it, it's like I knew then, but stocks are not something I know. It says, what is an emerging economy? It's an economy that is a developing nation that is becoming more engaged with the global markets as it grows. Countries classified as emerging markets are those economies are those with some but not all of the characteristics of a developed market. So, and it gives some, I think as we go down here, it gives us some examples of countries that are considered that. It says India, Mexico, Russia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, China, Brazil. So I mean, I'd imagine that whoever's pro emerging markets, that's going to just be good overall, right, for everything really. But we'll go back up here and keep reading that. It says that was be more bullish under Trump, and it says energy stocks might benefit more under Biden. So I mean, there's that. If you're trading traditional stocks, I guess this would matter more. Like Rigo said, and then the point of this topic was who do we think would be more bullish for Bitcoin? And I think one thing that I'm kind of getting out of this article is that at the end of the day, it probably will just do what it's going to do regardless. However, in the short term, which is where the stock market likes to react, and I got to follow back up and see what Rigo put, if he did put anything. It doesn't look like you have yet, but I would think that Trump would also be a little more bullish for Bitcoin. I think he even came out at one point on Twitter or X or something and said something about Bitcoin, whereas I think we all kind of know that Biden hasn't really liked crypto. The government as a whole really hasn't been pro crypto for lots of reasons, obviously due to the tax purposes mainly and all that kind of stuff. And Trump, is kind of a go against the grain kind of guy. So that part, he could be more bullish that way, but anyway, I went down through this. I really want anything else that I highlighted. That was just kind of all I wanted to mention. Is if I was to summarize it, I think that if you're going to base your portfolio on who's going to be elected for president, I think that would be foolish. I don't really think, maybe, you wait until the dust settles, let someone get elected, see how the market reacts initially, and then, buy it. If there's a dip or something, buy the dip. But I think crypto is pretty, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, not financial advice, but I do think crypto has its 4-year cycle, and until it breaks, or at least really deviates from that, we just have to assume, that that's going to pull through. It's going to have its run, whether it's, middle of next year, end of next year when it tops. I think it'll be sometime around October, November potentially-ish, give or take a few weeks or a month one way or the other. And I don't think that what president we have is going to change that. I do think there's always a chance that some big black swan event or war or something could change it. So, there's that. But as far as just, which president's in office and whether they're pro this or that, I just think crypto will do its thing. We just might have to tread more lightly depending on who gets elected, if you know what I mean, and just hope they don't poop their pants on our crypto party. Okay, let's go over here to, and actually, I want to point out too before we moved on from this topic, actually, this is the S&P 500, and during Trump's, time as president, which would have obviously ranged from 2017 through 2021, or the end of 2020, I guess, or whatever. The stocks actually rose 64. Hopefully you can see, I guess you can't really see that very good, but stocks actually rose 64 and almost 65%. That's actually right here. And then Biden so far, which is like, you know, he's obviously not finished yet. He's still got the rest of this year, but it's actually up right around the same already. Or no, sorry, it's up 46%. I put a mark up here in purple, a horizontal line, indicating that maybe stocks could do something similar. That's not based on any TA or anything. That's literally just showing kind of as an example of, okay, this is what happened during Trump, that really it was unaffected by Biden becoming president. He did become president during this large pullback, you know, but you know, that's just, it broke out and has been doing good since. So just something to kind of put out there that you know, stocks have performed well under either one. So there is that. And okay, I think that's all we have to say for that topic. So before we pop on over to the OG coins, let me just check on the chat, see if anybody's had anything good to say. I think if Trump gets into office, markets will dump. Do you think that they'll dump initially, though, and then recover, Dave? Or do you actually just think he's overall just bad? Because, I mean, that's another way to look at it, too. Like, I think you're probably right on that. I think that there's just going to be a lot... I mean, there's just, you know how it is. It's just so 50-50 in our country that no matter who gets elected, the initial reaction to it's going to be bad, you know, because then people tend to settle or accept, I guess, acceptance. I don't know what they call that. There's so many stages of grief. So if the president gets elected that you weren't going for, you know, the country as a whole is going to go through those stages of grief. And one of those, you know, is eventually is accepting it. But at first, usually it's, I don't know, depression or something and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so, and then I guess that's all we had to catch up on. So let's go ahead and pop on over to topic number 2. OG coins are doomed. Now, I don't actually believe this, by the way. I was going to put a question mark, and I just decided not to add to the extra suspense of maybe you thinking I'm saying that OG coins are doomed. I actually don't think they're doomed. My personal opinion is that they will have their run. Not all of them. I think there's some that are definitely not the best investments at this point, unless you bought them low. But what I want to pull up here again, it's the website I went over the other day. I don't remember what topic. I think we were just going over my formula. Which, by the way, for those of you that are new to the stream, if there's anybody watching this or will watch it later that's new, one of the biggest things that I do on my channel, and maybe this would be a good time to really quickly do kind of a plug for it. But if we go look up my channel, I discuss this quite frequently in my YouTube videos, or I mean my live streams, but I make these videos, or I've been making these videos that are to do with price projections, right? And I have this formula that I came up with, or essentially a chart that I used past data of the last bull run when Bitcoin peaked to kind of come up with market caps. And I think I actually have that here too as well. I can pull it up real fast and show it to you. But I also leave a link to this. I pin this as a comment to every one of my videos. You can look at, so you can't edit it, but you can come look at it. But, you know, sometimes I'll reference this in the videos, and this is what I'm talking about. These are just projections that I have, market cap projections. These represent billion based on positions. So, you know, like if Bitcoin hits 91K, I've got here that position number 3, for example, would have 136 billion in it. So sometimes I'll reference that, but they're videos that I'm pretty proud of. I do need to get back into making some more of those. I've just been waiting a little bit for some suggestions on those. I believe it's H-bar that I started last night a little bit. I'll have that out in the next couple of days. That was a request from someone on the YouTube. But I have a playlist on here, so if you happen to watch this video and you're curious about what coins I've done, or maybe you want to look through this and possibly suggest a coin, it's under this playlist that's titled Crypto Price Predictions Top 100. And I don't just take top 100 coins suggestions. Sorry guys, that was loud, but maybe you can't even hear it. I don't know if I had my desktop sound on anyway, so anyhow, I clicked on the wrong thing, didn't I? That's probably why I did that. Let's go back here. View full playlist. Okay, so yeah, you got all these videos here that I've made. This was actually an update video for Jasmine Cardano, Algorand to $7. Usually my title, and this is just a YouTube thing that I think all of us YouTubers kind of do to a degree, but you know, we'll call it clickbait. But really, what it is my title is usually whatever was like the bullish target that I presented in the video. But my personal predictions usually, you know, not quite whatever my title is. It's usually, and I have reasons behind exactly, and even the title is not a made up number. It is something that I have based on maybe Bitcoin going higher than I think it will, basically, if that makes sense, like going to 150K, which is not my target for it. So Anyway, I just wanted to do a quick plug for that before we actually finish talking about these OG coins. So I had this website that I was referring to that I brought up in the video the other day. It's coincodex.com. And what I use this site for is I can look at it and put a date down in the past, right? I could pick a date and time. I can even pick an exact time of that day, which depending on what you're looking at, that can make a difference as well, because a lot of times prices will fluctuate by the minute, right? But you'll put a date and a time, and you can go down here and it will tell you on said date and said time what the crypto market was like as far as the number, the ranking of the coins. Bitcoin being number one, that's always that way regardless of what date you put. But you'll see down here, for example, at the end of last bull run. And so the reason I put November 10th in this box is on November 10th of 2021, that's when Bitcoin topped on basically every chart you look at. It happened within a few minutes on every chart, sometime on the 10th. It didn't happen exactly at 12 p.m. because clearly you can see here Bitcoin was at 68,000 at that time. And if you look at a chart, it was like 69, whatever it was that it actually topped. So I haven't sat here and looked for the exact minute, but on the 10th of 2021 in November, it topped. And so I use this chart to often go back and just look at what, if I'm talking about a coin, I want to know where was it at, back then, when it topped. This doesn't mean this was the highest it got. That's something else I'll sometimes discuss in the videos when I make them. Is I'll say, for example, okay, XRP is at number 7. However, it's been at number 4 historically a lot. Can it get back to there? Yes or no, in my opinion, blah, blah, blah. But the reason why I also reference that is because we don't know when these coins are going to top, if they're going to top when Bitcoin tops, they're going to top after. So it's just a good site for me to look for that kind of information so that I'm not just guessing or trying to look at all the charts individually and then try to guess where they were ranked. So this is a good site. You might want to write it down if you're ever curious about looking at past prices for the coins you're on. It is a little bit difficult on this site to find anything that's outside of the top 100. I think it can go to 500. But, if you're looking at a coin that's currently ranked, say 200, but either it wasn't part of the last bull run, so it's not going to be here at all, or maybe it was like a position 1000, you're just not going to find it. So you're not really going to be able to see if it was, so it had to be inside the top 500 for you to find that history on this website. So anyway, what I wanted to point out though on this site was just, if we look at when crypto topped the last bull run, you can see kind of some of these coins like Cardano was at number 6, XRP 7, DOT number 8. Now Doge, in my opinion, has always kind of been somewhat of a it's a meme coin, but it's kind of I don't know how good its fundamentals really are. I mean, maybe they're good. I've never used it. I know you can use it as a form of currency to buy things from certain places. So maybe it's better than I think. But either way, we'll still categorize it as a coin that's somewhat of a strong fundamental coin. And if I'm wrong on that, then fine. I've always said on my channel that I'm not really a person that follows the fundamentals too well. But these are OG coins, right, that are all in line. And even Solana, which is still performing really well this bull run, or at least it was, we got 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 position all in a row of coins like that. And then you fast forward to today. Let me refresh this because I actually pulled this up last night, so we'll want to make sure it's accurate here. But then you got some other things like XRP moved down a spot. You've got some new coins like Toncoin moved in here. Cardano moved all the way to 11. Some things have fluctuated and moved around a little bit. But you still see a lot of these big coins because that's where a lot of the money is. So what we kind of want to discuss if we're deciding whether or not these coins are worth holding is there going to be another hype run that brings in new retail? Because the thing is a lot of these people, like if I make a video, for example, about Cardano, and I say something, like I don't believe it's going to go as high as people hope it does or whatever, right? Of course, they have a very strong community and passionate, and as every coin should have, hopefully, if it's a good coin, they blow it up. They blow up my chat and my comments, and they say, you're missing the train. Cardano's going to do this, and this is going to go to $50 or whatever the number they throw out is. And that's fine. And I hope anyone that's holding Cardano or holding, and that's just an example. Sorry, I'm not picking on Cardano, but it doesn't matter which coin it is. I hope that it performs as good as everybody hopes. But the question you have to ask yourself is, are you going to buy any more from this point forward as a holder? And I think 90% of people would probably say they weren't. Like you've already bought what you bought, either bought it at a higher price last bull run, you're kind of just holding it, or you were smart enough to buy it low, but you're just happy with that as well, or you dollar cost averaged hopefully, or whatever you did. you have to ask yourself, like even Rigo with VRA, right? Are you going to buy more at this point, or are you happy with what you got? So that's part A. I just want to point out is that you have to ask yourself that, but that isn't a bad question to ask yourself. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I just wanted to point that out. So what we need to have happen, and this is what I wanted to mention, is I'm of the belief that it will. I do think there will be a hype. One of the biggest things you have to consider, and I'll stop for just a second and read the chat here. I see that Rigo said, if I do buy more, it will be with smaller amounts. Well, especially if it's, I mean, I get it if it's a huge dip. Like, it's already down at prices. We're talking about Veracity for a second. Sorry, I'm just pausing what I was talking about to answer Rigo in chat. But VRA, we were looking at the other day, and it's coming down to some prices it hasn't been into in quite some time. And if Bitcoin breaks the support that it's trying to break right now and goes down, which a few of us do believe will happen, and let's just say it goes down even further, well, then you're probably going to see VRA at some prices that you haven't seen, in a long time. So yeah, I mean, that's good. If you believe in the coin still long term, you buy some more. I think you should. Joe brought up something that I was just going to transition into. He says, don't sell. If it's down, hold. Now, of course, that's a very bold statement, but I agree with it. I do think that there's potentially some coins out there that may not work for, but I think if you're holding any of the, we'll just call it top 50 OG coins, and maybe even a little bit more than that, but we'll at least say 50 or so. If you're holding Cardano or Avalanche or Chainlink, I think that they will have their moment. They'll have their run. And one of my biggest reasons for believing that is the whole concept of retail is these are people that are just entering the space, right? And if you're just entering the space, you don't know how to buy a meme coin on PancakeSwap, right? You just don't. So I feel like the market at this point in time, when it knows a lot of the people that are in it trading are more mature to the space, there's still a lot of new people coming in, but they're coming in my opinion, at the right time. We're still early, in my opinion, on this bull run. You're watching YouTube videos, you're educating yourself. Maybe you've learned how to create a MetaMask account. These are things I'll talk about actually in future videos for new people that are new to the space too, by the way, but just not in today's video. But what I'm getting at is the people that are more experienced know how to find these coins, or at least can, know where to start, right? Retail is going to come in, and what are retail going to need to buy, or what are they going to use to buy? Coinbase, right? Or especially if they're in the US, that's all they practically can use, especially if you're not super computer savvy and don't VPNs and all this and that, right? In order to trade. Like, crypto is a very tough space, at least in my opinion, when I first got into it, to navigate. And these coins like Cardano, once you start seeing more YouTubers talking about it, like once the money starts slowly shifting, we don't know what coin will be first, or coins. Maybe XRP finally does, it never has really rallied for quite some time. Maybe it's the one that leads the way. But once we start getting a pulse in the market that these coins are starting to do something, you're going to see every YouTuber talking about them again, which is just not happening right now, right? YouTubers follow the hype, which we'll talk about that later, but that's just because it's clicks, right? Clicks are a little different than actually where you should put your money at that time, and we'll talk about that. But I think right now, if you were to want to invest in some of these coins, wait right now. We're still in no man's land, as I mentioned on the Bitcoin chart. But I think these coins are the ones that are the silent killers. I think these are the ones you want to get in, especially if you have conviction. If you know Cardano, and especially if you know its fundamentals. I'm not going to sit here and tell you the fundamentals because I don't know them. For all I know, Cardano is a coin that is to do with basketball cards or something. I just don't. I mean, obviously I'm being extreme there with my joke, but I don't have a clue what Cardano does, and I'm fine with that. I got into crypto to trade so far. Down the line, as I make more videos, I want to learn more fundamentals. But at the end of the day, if you know them, on top of the fact that it's an OG coin, it's, if we look at some of these charts, actually, which is what I wanted to do before we move on from this topic. If we look at some of these charts, let's look at Cardano. I mean, we're looking at long consolidation periods, right? Which some of your best gains, like look at this one. Look at this last bull run. Long consolidation period. Similar too. You can't really see because I'm not zoomed in, but I mean, it consolidated, broke above, consolidated, turned that previous resistance into kind of like a support base, and then, boom, right? It's doing the same thing. Consolidating, broke above. This is what I mean, by the way, if I zoom in by broke above. We've got kind of, I mean, it's not really above it now, which is probably not bullish, but I guess as far as this zone kind of goes here, right? it's just slowly consolidated kind of at these really lows. Maybe it comes back down to kind of like down here somewhere around, 35 cents or something, maybe even as low as 30 if Bitcoin breaks down. But or maybe you get really lucky and you get back in the 20s. But point is that we're consolidating. I mean, this is a big range. Anything that happens in crypto as far as consolidation goes always is a big range compared to some of your traditional stocks, right? But I mean, when you zoom back out, which we'll do again here, I mean, this is the kind of upside potential you have. Now, do I think it's going to go back to that price? I have a video out saying that I don't think it will, but I hope I'm wrong. And even if I am right, I have it still going crazy gains from where it's at now, like 3-4x, which to me is awesome for a coin that's as big of a market cap as Cardano. I keep using Cardano as the example just because I feel like it's one of those coins that has a strong community. XRP be another one. And on one of these coming live streams, I'll actually spend a bunch of time talking just about like 3 or 4 of these coins that we're briefly touching on. But I mean, all I wanted to mention was you look at like DOT, same exact pattern. All these coins are the same pattern. They didn't have really a great breakout. Even when Bitcoin broke 70K, they went up because everything went up, but they didn't really do anything that got YouTubers to talk about them. They were talking about meme coins. They're talking about SHIB when SHIB had its rally. I mean, you look at SHIB's chart, which I don't have up right now, but if you look at it, it had a crazy rally just recently. You didn't get that out of these. Let me catch up a bit on chat, and then we're going to move on after this. I've kind of beat the dead horse on this topic, but I guess to summarize before I touch back on chat is, if you're holding these coins, circling back to what Joe said, I agree. Don't sell them. If you're holding 50 of them, maybe consolidate some in your favorites. I talked about that the other day too, but you don't have to do that either if you don't want. But if you're holding 3 or 4 of these coins like DOT, Cardano, AVAX is actually a coin that one of my buddies holds quite a bit of, because we were talking about it here like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. But he's down a little bit on it, but I've told him, dude, I'm not trying to give you financial advice, but he bought it without me telling him to. So I was like, but he was asking me what I thought he should do, and I said, hold it. I was like, it's probably going to be like, you're going to really regret it if you sell it, in my opinion. If I'm wrong, he's not going to lose much. He didn't put a ton in it anyways, and he bought it at, prices that were somewhat recent. He didn't buy it at the top, but anyway, so let's catch up on chat real quick. Rigo's putting airplanes and dollar signs and beer. It's weekend. It's Friday. I'm going to go out to karaoke tonight. I haven't done that in forever. I'll send you guys a video, and the guys that are in Telegram group, also show that real quick in the link, or there is a link in the description of every one of these videos to the Telegram group. We obviously talk crypto in there, but it's free to join, but sometimes we'll just talk about life stuff too. Rigo was talking about his daughter playing basketball last night, stuff like that. We're kind of a family community in there, I feel like, an online family community. And, sometimes, like in the past, I've went out and karaoke, and I've sent videos to the group of me looking retarded and singing songs. So, okay, so we got palm trees now, we got hunnits, we got planes. People are putting emojis in here like crazy. Karaoke, says Rigo. I knew you were going to say that. You do it. Well, Rigo, like I said, Rigo's like my brother now at this point. He's been in the group for a while. We're similar in age, and he's been in the group long enough. He has a pulse on kind of how I am, I guess, as a person. Even though I have a kid now, I took my 15 months off, right, from doing any of that kind of stuff, so he can get to the age where maybe I can leave him with my mom for the night and go out once every month or 2, right? So I'm gonna go out tonight to karaoke for the first time in some time, and hopefully have fun. So Joe put a microphone picture. Anybody else ever, even if you don't do it now, has anybody else done karaoke before? And if so, what's your go-to song that you sing? I have quite a few go-to songs. I actually opened up yesterday's live stream with a Eminem thing, so people think it's funny when I do Eminem at crypto. I mean, not crypto, at karaoke. If I do Eminem, that's always like a big hit. I'll do like the Just Lose It because it has the Pee Wee Herman laugh, the her, I'll do that, and people just, for some reason, they eat that up like it's cherry pie. Okay, the total eclipse of the heart. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a heart melter. So I mean, if you're married, I'm guessing that's how you roped her in, was the old total eclipse of the heart. I mean, who wouldn't go for that? So, let's go ahead and hop over to our next topic. I do have to kind of speed up a little bit. I got about 20 minutes left before I gotta go get my baby, so we're not in a giant hurry by no means. But I kind of beat the topic a little bit on that last one, but I do think it was just important for those of you that are holding those old coins to not lose faith in them, right? I think they'll have their run. So we're moving on now to meme or AI. I don't think I pulled anything up specific for this. I did point out or pull up a website here that you can use. It's actually maybe I'll put a link in the description after we post this video. It's just Forbes.com, but you can search different categories on here, a few of them anyways, and just kind of see where the different coins rank as far as that category goes, things like that. Good way to kind of see what coins, let's see here. This was not the one that I thought I had though. This was actually what I wanted. This is actually what I'd rather share with you. So CoinGecko, you could go to Google and type this in, but it will pull up a CoinGecko link, which is the ones I was looking at. And you can look up like what's the top such and such category of coin and by market cap. And it's nice because it'll pop up the site. You can scroll down. And then it'll tell you, like, for example, we're on meme coins. I can see that, okay, Dogecoin's number 9, SHIB's number 12, Pepe's number 26. This is out of the top, this is their rank, I mean. And then I think I even went in and typed a few of the other coins down here, like top. These are the top categories. Let's see, we might have even done top RWA coins. So if you're putting together like a portfolio, sometimes this is a good way to look and see kind of what's, most popular, I guess, and what's ranked well. But as far as what I was going to go over in relation to meme or AI coins is it really would come down, in my opinion, to just risk tolerance. And what I mean by that, and I think most of you would agree, is that meme coins are going to probably have potentially, Joe would tell you otherwise, I don't know which ones he's been trading, but he would tell you otherwise, higher risk, higher reward. He probably just views it as higher risk because he has never had the reward, it sounds like, on these meme coins. Losing, as he said yesterday, 99%. Well, that's why I don't trade them, because I feel like the same thing would happen to me. But at the end of the day, there's people that bought some of these coins, like Pepe, that's been rallying like crazy. In fact, if we pull that up, that's just a good example of a coin that, let's look it up. Pepe's done some crazy things, and it's a big coin, number 26. I don't even know if it was how new this coin is, or if it was even part of the last board. I think it was. I've heard it long enough to I believe it was part of it, but I don't think it was ever number 26. It wasn't a top 100 coin. If we type in like max, we can see that just as recent as right before this rally would have been February 13th, well, just as recent as the beginning of this year. It's sitting down here at like 1,700 zeros and a 1008, and then it's peaked as high as whatever. I don't always understand all them zeros, but we can look at a chart anyway and see that it's up a ton, right? Just in the past year. In fact, the better site to look at that would probably be the Crypto Bubbles site. Let's go to that. Crypto Bubbles. Crypto Bubbles. I don't have it saved. Should bookmark things, McKay, so you can find them faster. So there it is. So just in the past year, it's up 1,200. You can see, if you can see it there on my screen, it's up 1,233%. So hey, if you'd have known about that coin and bought it, not at the exact low, but somewhere between now and halfway to that point, you might be up like 600% on that coin, right? But then there's also the higher risk of, do you trade something like that now when it's already up this much? Or do you buy some Cardano and sit and wait, right? Now, AI, on the other hand, in my opinion, this is all just my opinion, it depends on which AI coin you're trading as well, but AI, in my opinion, is a little bit more of a slightly less risk. All crypto is risky, but I think in relation to meme coins, it's slightly less risky, but also less reward, right? And I actually don't mind that. My risk tolerance says to just buy something like that and wait, something that I have conviction in, that I don't have to worry about having an 85% spike 1 minute and dropping 70% of that the next minute, right? And I don't think a lot of the bigger AI coins. So here's top artificial intelligence coins, by the way. So AI, as of I think this was yesterday that I brought this up, but you can see some of these coins like Near and ICP, Fetch, which is actually going to be partnering up, or I don't know what the right word is, merging, that's the word, merging with two other coins, Ocean Protocol and AGIX, which what is Singularity, I think is the full name for that. They're gonna team up and make one coin, so that'll change. In fact, that'll go up, because I believe they're all three just gonna basically absorb market cap together. They're gonna come up with this new name. I can't remember what it was. I mentioned it the other day. I've forgotten now. It's a pretty fancy name though, I know that. And then the people that held the other coins, all three coins I guess, will be able to transfer them into this new coin, worth probably the same amount as what it was, of course. And then, because its market cap will be all three, I'd imagine it's going to go from 28 up. I don't know that in the short term. I think I mentioned this to Rigo the other day, that's bullish, but I think it could still be overall. It's not a bad thing. But like coins like Render are way up, but then I still think they have more upside. They're one of those coins that a lot of people might think, hey, it's went up already so much. How much more could it go up? I think that I think sometimes we underestimate in crypto how much a more coin can go up. And this one seems to have had pretty good, steady growth. I would have to pull up its chart. Maybe I will on a future stream. But from my, from the little bit that I have looked at it in the past, I've never actually traded Render, this bull run anyway. But it's been a little bit more of a natural growth. It hasn't quite had some of the meme coin pump and dumps, right? It's just been building and building and building, climbing the ranks, and it's a solid coin from my understanding fundamentally. I don't know the fundamentals, but it's strong. Some coins like the Graph, it's another one that's been around forever, not performing really great, this bull run. But if you have some, again, maybe hold on to it. But coins like Teo, I made a video about. These are all coins that I think actually have meme potential gains in their future, maybe, but just not all at once. And maybe they don't have that multiple of a 30x or something, but they, a safer 10 or a safer 5. Maybe not 10 from this point, in my opinion, but at least 4 to 5x on almost all of these bigger ones even, I think, still have that potential in them, and maybe even more than that if you start going down the list and find some of these other ones down here further. So that's all I was going to mention on that, and I'm actually going to do a deeper dive because I wanted to kind of go over in my next, I think it'll be my very next live stream actually, which would be Tuesday of this next week at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to talk about which meme coins I would, I don't hold any meme coins right now, so I'm not going to say which coins I hold, but which coins I'm eyeing to buy, which means I plan to hold. So I do plan on buying a couple meme coins. I'm not going to buy any of the political ones, the presidential Trumps or the MAGAs or any of that kind of stuff. I'm going to buy ones that are bigger cap already, that I think still have room to go up. And then I'm going to talk about a couple AI coins, are the ones that I plan to buy there as well. Let's catch up on chat before we do our final topic. We'll go ahead and pop over to the final topic here real quick, but we won't start talking about it just yet. Let's see what we got going on here. Yes, link, please. Now, Rigo, remind me, what link was it that I was referring to for that you're asking about? I've kind of lost my train of thought on that, so just let me know which one you're referring to. I'll watch the video back anyway, too, make sure that if I say I'm putting a link in the description, that I'll actually do it. So don't worry if you don't remember or if you left or something, I'll get it for you. Joe says he's never been drunk enough. Well, for some people, especially if you're not a singer or Joe's not shy, but if you're just, it's not your thing, there may not be enough liquor in the world. Is the thing, if you're just not going to do it, you're not going to do it. So he's never been drunk enough to do karaoke, he says. He thinks he did it one time, but he won't talk about it. Well, I was in a band actually outside of after I graduated high school for a while. I've always been a singer. In fact, I might stream tonight later. Well, I'm going to karaoke, so we'll call that off. I forgot that prior to me mentioning that I may stream tonight, I hadn't made the karaoke plans, but maybe tomorrow night or one of the nights this weekend, I might do a surprise stream, just a chill, have a beer, something like that, type of a stream where we just maybe talk about whatever. But for those of you that have been on my Telegram for a while and follow my channel, I used to make, or last bull run anyways, and the bear market, I was making crypto songs about rap or different things to do with crypto topics. Like I made an XRP song, a Doge song, and I would just play them on stream. So people that haven't heard them or haven't heard them in a while could listen to them and get a kick out of them. They're not meant to be serious, and they're also probably not that good, but they are funny. Holding Bonk, says Dave. Dave P is holding, and see, Bonk's one of those ones that's kind of moved up far enough that I'd consider it, a large cap almost at this point. It's still probably a mid cap, but it's getting big, to where it would fall in that category of one that's maybe not as risky, but you wait for the right price now. Wait for the Bitcoin to pull back and get that, because that coin's got the hype, right? It's got the hype now, but it's no longer so small that buying, $500 of it moves the market, and then you also maybe lose it 30 minutes later. So gotta head out. Another basketball game. Congrats, Rigo. Good luck. If it's for your daughter again, tell her good luck, or whoever's playing. And let's read Joe's before we finish out today's live stream. Joe says, Bonk. Oh, this is actually why Dave responded to this, because Joe had said Bonk will do well this bull run. It's the only meme coin that got listed that very fast on Binance. See, I didn't know it was on Binance. I can't use Binance anymore because I'm in the US, but I agree with Joe that it's very bullish anytime something's on Binance. That's still by far the largest exchange, used in the world, and crypto is obviously a worldwide thing. It's traded everywhere, so that's bullish. Some people say the team knows people at Binance, and that's the reason it got listed so fast. Hey, isn't that life? Who you know? It's not what you know, it's who you know. So great. Bonk. I can't remember what that the picture for Bonk looks like. What it's, I guess we could look it up real fast. Because now I'm trying to remember. What is Bonk's like logo? Is it a dog or something like the rest of them, or what does it got? It is. As I say, I thought it was like a dog. Is it crying, or what is that? I can't see it. What's coming off that dog's head? Well, anyways. So, all right, so we're moving on to Follow the Hype. And Follow the Hype is going to be another one that it actually was the reason I was going to transition into showing a lot of these other sectors. But what I was going to mention, this was actually just good. This is a good place to end the stream, actually, is this topic, because I wasn't going to necessarily show you anything. This was going to be more of just a rant. But I wanted to mention that, so when it comes to YouTube, for example, you're watching YouTube videos, that's going to be whatever, most of the time anyway, the channels are going to be putting out what's currently the hype, right? Whether that is AI or meme coins, which have been dominating this bull run, so on and so forth. They're going to make videos about that. If you've been in the space a while and you're actually trading, or at least trying to buy and hodl for a bit, or midterm, short-term trade, whatever you're doing, usually if you're wanting to buy these coins, it's not best to buy them while they're being hyped, because they are rallying. You've probably missed the boat. But one thing that I've noticed, and I'm sure Joe can agree to this, any of you that have been in the space, for at least a couple of years anyway, that everything kind of just goes in a cycle, right? It's like a circle, and in that circle, there might be 5 to 6, there's more than that in the circle, but 5 to 6, for that particular bull run, that's the big hype narratives. This one, it's RWAs, it's still gaming to a degree, like Web3 gaming, I think. You've got AI, you've got, of course, finance coins still do pop up, all these ones, and meme coins being the biggest. Well, if memes are getting the hype now, although they've been getting it kind of the whole time, it's just whichever meme coin. But as far as sectors go, it's going to come back around. So sometimes it's best to, if you say you have some YouTubers you follow that have a lot of subscribers, a guy that comes to mind, and I don't know the guy, so I'm not going to say I don't like the guy, because I don't even know the guy. I don't really like how he runs his channel. But there's a guy on here, and his name is Alex Becker, right? And I don't know if any of you have ever followed this guy or seen his videos, but he puts out videos just like that, where it has something like crypto is dead, you're stupid, or 7, this one says, let me blow this up so you can see, 7 new crypto coins that'll 100x by May. It's like, really? 100x? And so unless he's putting some coin that you have to use Uniswap to buy because it's so barely listed or something, I don't really know any coin that he would have been right on that about. Like, what coin possibly from the time he posted this has 100x when crypto's been pulling back this whole time? But that being said, he can pump coins in the short term. There's a lot of YouTubers. This is just one example, and I'm not knocking on Alex Becker. For all I know, he may help grandmothers across the street as a hobby on the weekend. He might be the best guy in the world. But, he runs his YouTube channel kind of this way with these big, you're going to buy this top 90 AI coins that'll 100x by May. Another example. Dump it, sell all your crypto. I mean, if you followed this guy, you'd be buying everything one day and then panicking and selling it the next day. I think your portfolio would just go down. However, he has the ability to pump coins because he has, if we scroll up here again, he has, what does it show it at? Here we go, 1.44, that's the key right there, 1.44 million subscribers, right? And there's other guys that I followed in the past that, at one point I liked their content, and then as I stayed in the space longer, I went, hey, that's kind of irresponsible. But what I do is I have a whiteboard I have 2 whiteboards actually here in my man cave, as I call it, or in this case, I guess my trading studio or my recording studio / all that, right? And on one of them, I write down coins that I think are worth looking into, that were talked about in a YouTube video, sometimes by guys like these, but I don't buy them right then. I pull up the chart, I look at it, I look for supports and stuff, and figure out maybe where would be potential areas to buy it. But mainly what I'm looking for is if these are coins that could maybe the next time around, they're going to get hyped again, because these guys buy these coins they're hyping, right? It ain't like he just does the research and decides that these little coins are the best token that was ever created. He's a busy guy, I'm guessing. 1.44 million subscribers. He's probably busy just making content. And then he probably has a family, and he probably has a lot going on. And I believe if you do watch this guy's videos, he has some other business or something. So, I mean, he isn't sitting around doing this research himself. He has a team, I'm sure, that does. But at the end of the day, you know, he probably doesn't know a ton about these coins that he's talking about. He just knows what sector they're in and that they will get hyped. Why does he know they're going to get hyped? Because he knows other people in the space, other YouTubers, right? Like Elio Trades is another example. He's a guy I used to follow a lot last bull run. I've even talked actually on one video one time about his coin. It was called Super last bull run. It's been rebranded, I believe, to Superverse or something like that. But anyway, Elio Trades is another guy. So he has, you know, 635,000 subscribers. Well, you know, he's friends with Alex Becker, and granted, at some point, now this is not financial advice, and I'm not even necessarily myself looking at this coin, but his coin, Super, I want to say after it got pumped by their videos, has probably pulled back a ton. But if you wanted to ride a hype train, but just not buy it while it's being hyped, but maybe buy it while it's down, you could look at something like, it was called Super Farm before actually, and now it's been rebranded to Superverse, which this doesn't say, it still says Super Farm. But this is the weekly chart, but look at this thing. I mean, it went up. Let me actually, before I show you, zoom in more. Okay, so it went up from this point down here about 2,000%, right? Then it's back down now, you know, from that peak, you know, 50%. So if you bought up here, you put $1,000 in, you've lost half your money. Now, that's just a normal chart in crypto, right? We see these things every day. But the thing is this is a coin that has, you know, some big YouTubers with money. I mean, that guy, Aerial Trades, created this coin. He wants to see it succeed. So you think he's not going to, once crypto starts getting a little more excitement back into it, he's not going to pump this coin some more? I mean, a lot of these YouTubers, that's what they do. They pump their bags. And I'm not, you know, knocking on him for it per se. Especially where he created that coin, I guess. Why not? But, you know, that's not what I meant to pull up just now. But I was going to say, if you could do some TA on a coin like this is just one of many examples that we can probably give you on some, you know, different streams as we go along with our live streaming journey. But, you know, you might pull up just something as simple as a fib level and go, hey, the 618's down here. Maybe it lines up with some support back here. Maybe if this comes down to here and this was the hype coin you wanted to potentially ride, it might be worth dollar cost averaging into a coin like this. But my point of the rant was that do not fall victim to the whatever everyone's talking about right then. If it's already pumping, maybe you'll get lucky, you know, and maybe that's what Joe, maybe is that, would you maybe be able to say that that's what happened to you, Joe, on some of these meme coins where you're just too late to the pump? He says, when YouTubers talk about a coin, don't buy. So he's basically saying, or, you know, he probably said that before I said it. I wasn't reading the chat for a few minutes there, but Joe is basically, I'm echoing probably what Joe said. When YouTubers talk about a coin, don't buy. Wait about a week for it to sell off. And if you like it, buy it, because the YouTubers will do it again. Boom. So maybe Joe just basically said word for word. Maybe Joe doesn't know. I was looking up and actually reading Joe's statement. That's what I was doing. I stole it from you, Joe. But yeah, we're of the same mindset there. A couple of Jedi minds for crypto right there, saying the same thing to you, that it isn't bad to follow the hype, but you want to follow far enough behind that you're waiting for the pullback. I don't know if that doesn't really make sense when you say it that way, but, and you can't say you're leading the hype either. But what you're doing is you're inside of that circle we talked about, and you're just waiting around for the next time. It's like a merry-go-round. It's going to come back around, right? You know, if you sit there trying to chase the merry-go-round, you're going to trip, fall, and it's going to break your leg or something. But maybe just let it come back around, and then right before it gets there, hop on. You know, and you don't know, you know, necessarily what sector's going to pump next. But what you can do is just hold. You know, buy something like Joe said when it pulls back. If you like it, do your own research. But if you like the coin, and you know, it's going to have a rally. Maybe you, because the other problem that people run into when it comes to chasing the hype or following the hype, as I titled it, is they buy this one coin and that just got talked about on YouTube. And maybe the best case, they don't make money, right? But they most likely lose a little. Well, then they follow the train to the next coin, and then the next coin that's getting talked about, because that's how crypto works, right? Especially the Twitter and the YouTube side of it, right? Well, then your portfolio is just doing this, and you're just constantly stressed because you have that anxiety that you're missing out. That's the whole point of what they call FOMO, fear of missing out. Well, fear of missing out is what leads bad, I guess, decisions from new traders or new investors to follow the hype. So I'm saying don't follow it. Wait, you know, do some research, pay attention to it. In fact, that's the most important thing, is to pay attention to it, but do not follow it. Write things down on a whiteboard or a notepad, or get a tattoo. No, just kidding, don't do that. Okay, Joe says, when you have been in the space, you know what to do. The first time you will lose. The second bull market, you know. The third bull market, you can retire. This is my second bull run. Oh, so you're not retiring. This one's what you're saying. You're not predicting retirement for yourself, Joe. You're predicting that you know what you're doing and you will do well. So I like that. I like that he put, I'm gonna read that again before we transition to kind of closing out for today's stream, but he says, when you have been in the space, you know what to do. The first time you will lose. Now, there is outliers there, but I guess it's, if you want to take that literal for 90%, as they say, will lose. Well, if you lose, don't get discouraged. A lot of guys that are in crypto right now have actually been in last bull run, because I don't think we're seeing a ton of retail just yet. For the little bit we did, bought Bitcoin, and then it pulled back, and now they're probably pooping their britches, just like Biden, right? And so, you know, a lot of us that are watching my stream or watch these videos are the ones that are probably in their second bull run, or at least we'll call it 1.5, because maybe you joined at the top of last bull run. So you're still kind of learning, right? But at the end of the day, that's the cycle, right? If crypto has a 4-year cycle, so does its investors. So unless you got at the very beginning of one cycle, which is usually not when you retail joins, right? They join at the end or the middle, the latter half, so to speak. Your 4-year cycle is usually, by the time you're figuring it out, crypto came down, you lost, right? Then the next cycle, as Joe put it, that's where you hope to have your success. Maybe makes, maybe double your money, maybe triple it, which can still be life-changing depending on what you had to invest, but maybe not enough to retire on. And then that third bull run, boom, you retire, life is good. You know what I mean? So we're going to hop back over here to my pretty face, or not so pretty face. I want to remind everybody to remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really do appreciate you guys that have been showing up to the stream, especially Joe. Joe's a busy guy. He already does his own stream, at least, like I said, 1 a day for sure. And then he makes videos. He's constantly making content, and yet he still shows up to my streams, which I really do appreciate. And actually, if you haven't subscribed to Joe's channel, please do. I feel like we're both on that 1,000 subscriber watch, man. We're like, boom. In fact, I looked at it at one point today, just randomly. I mean, this isn't something I've been looking at constantly, but I looked at it today and saw that we were at one point, at least, both at 963. It's like, do we have the same subscribers or what? Like, to subscribe to me and then they go subscribe to you. I don't know, but that would actually be cool. I'd love for us to build kind of a similar community. We've talked about doing some streams together. I don't remember if Joe was for sure on board with that, but I think he would be. In fact, we both kind of have very similar mindsets in crypto, but I still think we're enough different that it would be fun to stream together. I think that he'd have some perspectives on things that are definitely better than mine, or at least different. Different's better too in a lot of ways. I'd have my perspectives. I'd throw a crypto rap out there. He'd probably do the, polka dance for you, whatever, right? We would do our thing, and I think it could be good. He says, we will stream together. Good. I like that idea. So again, guys, I hope that you have a good weekend. I will post on Twitter for those of you that follow me there, somewhere, depending on where I point. No, I had that right the first time. Up there is my Twitter handle. You can join my Twitter. I will post on Twitter. Join my Telegram group. I'll post in there as well when this evening stream will be. It was originally going to be tonight. However, I'm going to go to karaoke. I'll put a video of that later of me making a fool of myself into the Telegram group. I won't put that on Twitter, but in the Telegram group for those of you that join. But I will put out when I'm going to do that next stream. I think it'll just be a fun one to do once a week where I get on at night. We'll figure out a time too that works for guys better, but anyway, so again, love you guys, appreciate you. Hope you all have a safe and healthy weekend. We're waiting for that pullback. We actually do hope happens so that we can maybe get some better prices for that life-changing money, right, guys? So on my way out, reminding everybody to invest in yourself and have a good day.